I want to bring in the Shadow Defence Minister, Andrew Hastie, who's down with me on the grassy hill here next to Parliament House. Andrew, thank you for your time. Behind us is the fence, which we believe the protesters managed to scale. And if you look a little closer to next to where that security camera is, you can see the pigeon wire or pigeon spikes has all been dented. Perhaps they've climbed over that particular part of it. Just your first reaction initially from when you've seen these banners hanging from the top of Parliament for protesters, yelling phrases, pro-Palestinian phrases from the top of Parliament House. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was in the House when it happened, and I was speaking on a motion reiterating our support for Israel's right to self-defence. And so it was very troubling to see this. It's a very ugly protest. It obviously indicates support for Hamas. It's anti-Semitic, and it also attacks Australia's foundation, saying essentially we're a country built on genocide. So there's the political ugliness of this. But also there's security implications here as well. And these pigeon spikes here, they might stop a pigeon, but they're not going to deter a fit, able-bodied radical activist. And clearly they jumped the fence, and looking at that, I reckon you or I could do that as a team together right now. So I think there are implications for the security of the Parliament House.
Does there need to be a full inquiry into, one, how this happened, and two, what security changes would need to be made to prevent something like this from happening again?
I think absolutely we need to look at security. These people could have gone up there, they could have had weapons, they could have done anything. We're just fortunate it was a disgraceful protest and not something that was more violent.
I know you've spoken in the past, as have some of your colleagues, about concerns around the social cohesion around this particular matter. We've seen protests around the country now hanging from the ceiling, really, at Parliament House. How should the Prime Minister respond to this particular incident?
We need to see more leadership from Prime Minister Albanese. We've seen the attacks on our war memorials, desecrating and dishonouring our war dead. Now we've seen an attack on the People's House. There's something at the heart of our education system which is rotten. Why are young Australians wedding themselves to Hamas and their violent cause? And we need political leadership, because political leadership sets a tone. The Prime Minister's having a bet each way. It's not good enough. And just today in the Herald Sun we saw that story by James Campbell, where Amir Maimon, the Israeli ambassador, was hauled into Parliament House and apparently given a dressing down by the Assistant Foreign Minister, Tim Watts. We absolutely stand by Israel and its right to self-defence, particularly in the wake of attacks by Hamas and Hezbollah.
And just finally, whether the young people, old people, whatever they are, clearly there are a number of people that feel strongly enough about this issue to climb Parliament House, to go to protests. What would you say to those people about, one, the aspect of social cohesion, but what would your message to them be if they feel strongly enough to do something like this today? How would you communicate to them? What would your message be?
I'd say join a political party and get involved in the democratic process. I absolutely believe in freedom of speech and the right for every Australian to communicate their views. But Hamas and Hezbollah are listed terrorist organisations. And what we saw up there was support for Hamas. Hamas killed more than 1,000 Jews, the biggest single loss of Israeli life since the Holocaust on October 7th last year. That is a fact. And so to see this here, it's really disgusting, and I feel for a lot of Jewish Australians who feel unsafe in this country right now.
Andrew Hastie, thank you for your time.
Thank you.